Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at an older man who desecrated his girlfriend's body by dabbing "it was me" in red nail varnish on her leg after a callous attack. The badly beaten body of Imogen Bohajczuk, 29, was discovered lying on her bed with multiple stab wounds when police were called to her flat in Oldham on the 4th of March. Weeks earlier, Daniel Smith, 41, killed her in a ferocious and brutal attack, and then went on a buying spree with her bank card, emptying her account before he was later arrested in the early hours on the 5th of March. On February 18th, Miss Bohajczuk texted an ex-partner to say Mr. Smith has visited her home and became violent with her, Manchester Crown Court heard. She wrote, "I thought I was going to die. He strangled me so much I nearly died, and then he got a knife." Miss Bohajczuk called police to report the violence and that Mr. Smith had left the address. Officers arrived at her property the next day but got no response, the court was told. Police were confronted with a grim scene when they returned to the address in Ashton Road, Bardsley, on March the 4th after her body was found by a housing officer at Miss Bohajczuk's supported accommodation. Prosecutor Tim Story, QC, said Imogen Bohajczuk had been laid on her bed. Her body had been arranged as though she was a spectacle. Her arms were crossed, and she appeared to be clutching a bottle of perfume. A soft toy was by her neck. Her legs were crossed at the ankle, and on examination, the discovery was made that her body had been dabbed in nail varnish with the words "it was me." Chillingly, an exhibition had been made of her body. In late 2020, Miss Bohajczuk started seeing alcoholic Mr. Smith, originally from the Isle of Wight, who had a story of violent and abusive behaviour towards women. Officers arrived at her property the next day but got no response. The court heard our one ex-partner of Mr. Smith described how she thought of taking her own life because of Mr. Smith's controlling behaviour and that he sought to manipulate her by shamelessly lying that he had cancer. Another former girlfriend of Mr. Smith, nicknamed Boxer, said she left him because she was convinced he would kill her if she continued to see him. Mr. Story said, "We observe that this pattern of violent and manipulative behaviour was to be replicated in respect of his relationship with Imogen Bohajczuk." A post-mortem examination of the victim's body revealed bruises on her face, jaw and scalp, and on her neck in a manner which suggested attempted strangulation. One stab wound was delivered with such force it separated a rib bone and fully penetrated her lung. A bloodied knife was recovered at the scene in the kitchen knife block. When interviewed, Mr. Smith said he accepted he was responsible for her death, but he claimed it was out of character and drunkenly dabbed on her leg merely to make it clear he had inflicted the injuries. Benjamin Knight, defending, said his client does not remember the stabbing itself, but did recall placing her favourite perfume and soft toy on the bed. He said that was not to create a spectacle, but placing her in some form of peaceful position in his mind. He does not recall what he was thinking at the time, only that it seemed to be the right thing to do, although he accepts, objectively, that does not make any sense. Sentencing Mr. Smith to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 17.5 years, Judge Patrick Field, QC, told him, "On her right leg you had dabbed the words 'it was me' in red nail varnish. This graffiti is said to be some kind of confession by you, a sign to the police that you were responsible for the killing. I reject that notion entirely. This act looks like an act of callous and cruel triumphalism. There was cruelty here because you desecrated the body of a woman you had just killed in order to proclaim what you had just done. It is said that you had laid Imogen out on her bed because this is what you thought was right. That is a grotesque irony. There was nothing that you did on that day that could be described as right. She was the mother of a young child. In killing Imogen, you have deprived that child of a mother, and Imogen's parents and siblings have been deprived of their daughter and a sister. Their grief is palpable." In a victim personal statement, her mother, Kim Bohajczuk, said her daughter had told them about her plans to rebuild her life with her son and family, and have her everlasting love for her child. She said the family fully recognised descriptions of Imogen in sympathy cards they had received: intelligent, kind, caring, warm, beautiful, and full of life. Mr. Smith of Park Road, Oldham, pleaded guilty to murder. So what are your thoughts about Daniel Smith and how he took the precious life of Imogen Bohajczuk and left her family grieving over her death forever? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.